We currently have 537 active units on the market for sale. As you know, I do this every day. So that number has gone up from the fours, early fours and even high threes, and even mid threes closer to the beginning of this year. So we do have additional inventory. However, that has not slowed home sales at all. The thing that's holding back sellers from putting their properties on the market is that ultra low interest rate. Now there's information about loans that can actually be assumed by a buyer. So if you're a seller that has a VA or an FHA loan and certain types of conventional loans, depending on who owns the paper, they might be willing to allow that loan to transfer to a new buyer. Now, that's going to give that new buyer a much lower interest rate than they would get in this market, especially if you were in the twos or threes. But watch out for these promises of being able to transfer a rate by an agent, by a lender, by whomever. Just make sure it's actually feasible for you and it's going to make sense. Another question that I would have is, how's that money going to come back to me as far as the difference? Because if I have a 2 and 3% interest rate on my house, I probably have multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars in equity because of the time I bought and where the market is today versus back then. We're much higher today. So where's that money going to come in? And if I'm a buyer, if I'm going to be paying that extra to purchase the house or whatever that makes up fair market value, well, how am I going to get a loan for that, and what's that going to cost? That might be something, because those particular that particular mortgage company, the one that's going to loan you the money, they're going to be in a secondary position, and that primary loan is going to be first, which, as long as there's enough equity to take care of two in the event you default, they're happy. But in some cases, maybe those numbers won't make sense. Thereby, you'll be paying higher interest because of a more risky loan for that second one, and you might have washed out whatever advantage you're going to get by doing this assumable home purchase